Hello from Washington. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen was on Capitol Hill Thursday to take tough questions about what led to the collapse of one of the nation's largest banks. Sylicon Valley Bank is a major player in financing technology startups around the world. It was putting some of the bank's money in long-term bonds to grow that investment. While interest rates were low, that was a good idea, but as you know, they've been rising. That made the bonds a bad bet. Last Wednesday, SVB reported it had lost almost $2 billion. It notified its customers, and they started withdrawing their cash. SVB lost more than $160 billion in value overnight when its stock tanked. Federal regulators stepped in on Friday. So how does this impact the rest of us? Well, in a number of ways. Number one, SVB was the bank of choice for many of the technology companies we use every day. Think Spotify, Pinterest, Etsy, Roblox, and Roku. Number two, to rescue SVB, the U.S. government had to move $40 billion out of the Treasury Fund, and that is expected to have some kind of impact on when the U.S. reaches its debt ceiling. You may know that Congress is now debating on whether to raise the nation's borrowing limit. This could speed up the timeline. Number three, markets are definitely impacted by not only what's happening at SVB, but also what's happening with the possibility of the debt ceiling being reached even earlier than we thought before. So we're watching markets in Japan, South Korea, Australia all react and react downwards. So if you have investments in the stock market, that too is a point of impact. Now, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is testifying on Thursday before the Senate Finance Committee. Here's what she had to say.
On Monday morning, customers were able to access all of the money in their deposit accounts so they could make payroll and pay the bills. Shareholders and debt holders are not being protected by the government. Importantly, no taxpayer money is being used or put at risk with this action. I can reassure the members of the committee that our banking system is sound and that Americans can feel confident that their deposits will be there when they need them. This week's actions demonstrate our resolute commitment to ensure that our financial system remains strong and that depositors' savings remain safe.
There is now also concern about what this means to the tech innovation economy. In other words, if SVB was the main lender of choice for all of these technology companies and uniquely met their needs, where do they go now for a loan? Jessica Stone, VOA News, Washington.